I'm a writer. I work late most nights, usually until the city outside goes quiet. When I get stuck or my thoughts start looping, I step away from my desk and stand by my bedroom window. Just for a minute. Just to breathe. My apartment faces a narrow road. Old houses on the other side. I know my neighbors well. Which lights stay on late? Who leaves early? Who never opens their windows? There's one house across the road I never really noticed before. I saw her there late one night. She was sitting at the upstairs window. A girl. Long hair hanging loose. Sitting straight in a chair. A book open in her hands. She wasn't looking outside. She wasn't shifting or adjusting like people normally do when they read. She barely moved at all. I stood there longer than I meant to. The next night, she was there again. Same window. Same position. She turned a page, then didn't move for a long time. The silence outside felt heavier than usual. After that, it became routine. Almost every night, when I stepped to the window, she was already there. Always reading, always still. I started noticing small things. She never adjusted her hair, never leaned back, never crossed her legs. Her posture never changed. Sometimes I'd be holding a coffee mug. A few minutes later, I'd notice she was holding one too. Not sipping it, just holding it. One night, I realized something that made my stomach tighten. I had never seen her blink. I tried to tell myself that was ridiculous. Then I realized something worse. I had never seen her face clearly either. Her hair always fell forward, or the book blocked it, or the light behind her stayed just dim enough. One night, I decided not to go to the window at all. I stayed at my desk, kept writing. An hour passed, then another. The apartment was silent except for the soft tapping of my keyboard. When I finally stood up and walked to the window, she was already there, reading, like she'd been waiting. The next night, I tested something. I stood at the window with nothing in my hands. She kept reading. Then I picked up a pen and slowly turned it between my fingers. I waited. A few seconds passed. Then she picked up a pen too. She slid it between the pages of her book and left it there. She never looked up. My throat felt tight. I stepped back from the glass. That's when I noticed something else. Her window never fogged up. It was cold that night. My own window was starting to mist near the edges. Hers stayed perfectly clear. I pulled out my phone. I told myself I was being paranoid, that I just needed proof. I aimed the camera at her window. On the screen, I could see the room, the light, the curtains. But the chair was empty. I lowered the phone. She was still there. I tried again. Same thing. No blur, no glare, just an empty chair on the screen. That night, I slept with the lights on. Over the next few days, I changed my routine. Sometimes I stayed up later. Sometimes I went to bed early. Sometimes I avoided the window completely. It didn't matter. Whenever I did look, she was already there. One night, I noticed the book never changed. Same size, same color, same thickness. I never saw her turn to the back. Another night, I noticed she didn't cast a shadow against the wall behind her. I stopped counting how many times my heart jumped when I glanced up and saw her already there. Then one night, something changed. I stepped to the window and felt it immediately. That sense you get when someone is too close. She wasn't sitting anymore. The chair was pushed back. She was standing, right at the window, so close that her hair brushed the glass. Her head was tilted slightly forward. Her face was still hidden in shadow. She didn't look at me. She didn't move. I became very aware of my breathing. I took a step back. She didn't follow. She just stayed there. The next morning, I walked past that house in daylight. The place looked abandoned. Dust on the windows, peeling paint. No curtains upstairs, no chair. That evening, I asked a neighbor about it. He hesitated, then said, "No one's lived there for years." That night, I didn't go near the window. I sat on my bed in the dark. The room felt smaller than usual. Then I felt it again. That familiar pressure, like someone standing just out of sight. I looked up. She was there. No book, no chair, standing at the window. And for the first time, she lifted her head. Her face was completely blank. No expression at all. She looked directly at me, just for a second. I turned off the lights and didn't move. I still write late at night. But now, when I step away from my desk, I always check the window carefully. Because sometimes, she's already there.